Hello and welcome to episode 13 of the Art of Trying podcast. How are you going, Mum?
I'm pretty good. Well, no, I'm not. I've had a bad back actually, but do you know what? I'll be okay. I'm on the mend, so
that's good.
So not
that's
too
good.
bad.
It's always good to be on the mend, and I mean we'll acknowledge it now. This episode is a week late. Do you want to tell people why it's a week late, Mum, or should I?
Oh, well, okay, you go.
I'll go. So how we do these podcasts in lockdown is I record my audio and Mum records her audio and she gives it to me and I put it all together.
Yeah, simple.
When last week we recorded the full episode, which took about an hour, and maybe two with setup time and everything as well.
Yep.
Mum sent me her audio and I looked at it and went, that's not as long as mine. And in the middle of the audio is just a big, massive cut. I think there was about 20 minutes missing, and you cut from we cut from the beginning of when we introduced Samantha to the end. So we couldn't. It's not like I could edit around it or anything like that.
Well, I did ask, didn't I? Can you just
you did
bodge it together so that it sort of looks like I was there?
But I couldn't because, I mean, yeah, there would have been still me and Samantha talking, but then there would have been gaps of like minutes where there was silence where you were talking.
Sorry about that. And I joked about it at the end as well, didn't I? I said, is this a good time to say that the recording didn't work?
Yeah, it's, just don't joke about things like that because...
No. Anyway, so here we are. Take two.
Take two of episode 13.
And I'm not going to touch my pause button. I promise. It's just going to...
Okay. Good.
Anyway, how are you?
What'd you say? Sorry?
I said, how are you?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm okay.
Good.
I'm okay. Had a bit of a week because... I mean, people might have noticed that I haven't been posting anything on socials on the Art of Trying podcast. Mm-hmm. And that's because what was it, the end of the week before or the last week? I can't remember. But my main hard drive corrupted, as you know.
Yeah.
Which contained my entire
everything.
life, essentially, and everything to do with this. And people may be wondering, oh, Brad, that sucks. That really does. But surely your backup drive had everything saved on it.
Of course.
You would think. But no. I didn't have a backup drive because I'm an idiot.
Yep. Well,
so
there you go.
I lost everything on there. You know, we're in lockdown again. I mean, numbers are still rising. So everything's a bit much at the moment.
It just got too much this week.
You know? It's just, but we're here. We're doing episode 13, and I'm excited. So let's just jump into it.
Why not?
Let's just jump into it. Let's introduce our special guest for episode 13, Samantha. How are you going?
Oh, I'm going great. How are you guys?
That's good. Oh,
yeah, good.
Wonderful.
Lovely to have a guest.
Excited to be back recording the podcast.
It's going to work this time.
So. Hopefully it does. I'm going to check in periodically with Mum to see if she's recording her audio. So the topic for this week, it was meant to be last week, topic for this episode is changing up your strategy.
Yeah.
And whether that's to do with sort of life or career or anything, we're going to be talking about how sometimes you need to look at how you're doing things and seeing if they're working and if you need to change them up. And we thought of you, Samantha, because, you know, you've changed up your strategy quite a bit for Someone who's 21 years old.
The times that we're in as well, I think there's a lot of people out there that are having to think about it. So.
Definitely looking at it and reevaluating sort of, especially if that's somebody who, maybe was working in hospitality or retail or something and maybe lost their job. So definitely there's a lot of people out there thinking of changing up their strategy. So Samantha, tell us a little about yourself first. Who are you? Who is Samantha Trudgett?
I mean, there's not much to say. I was a travel agent before all of this COVID stuff.
So you were a travel agent?
Yep.
At the time of the world's largest pandemic?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, actually, I forget. It's not the world's largest pandemic, but...
Currently.
Of our time.
Yep.
In a time when travel is restricted.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't the best time. No.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So I'm currently at uni though. I've gone back to uni, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just working part-time currently as a barista.
What are you studying at uni?
Business. I'm majoring in marketing.
Marketing?
Yep.
But
do you know you can just get into that industry without a degree? Because I did it.
Yep.
But you can. But you're saying you're going back to uni. So
yes.
You've obviously been there before.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So when I left school, I went to university, and I did the same thing. I studied business with majoring in marketing, and I did that for about a year and a half, and then I decided that I was going to defer. It was only supposed to be 6 months, but it ended up being.
Hey, I deferred for about 4 years, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
So what made you want to defer uni though? Why were you thinking then that you wanted to change things up a little bit?
There was a lot of factors that made the decision for me. I loved what I was studying, but I didn't love being at uni. I didn't love the uni culture. I didn't like working a casual job and having no money. I wanted to work more, and I wasn't 100% happy with being at uni, and so I just wanted to explore something else. And it was only supposed to be for 6 months and turned into a year and a half.
What uni were you at?
I was at ACU.
ACU,
yeah.
Australian Catholic University.
Yes, it is the one.
So you've changed up your sort of strategy quite a bit. So obviously you went to uni. You dropped. Did you drop out officially?
No, I deferred.
So you just deferred.
Yeah.
So you're now finishing off your course that you deferred, yeah?
It's the same course, just at a different uni. So I transferred all my units over. I'm just at Fed Uni in Berwick now because I didn't love the.
So technically, you dropped out of ACU.
Yes, as of now, yes.
And then what uni? Sorry.
Fed Uni, Federation Uni.
Fed Uni.
Yeah,
where's that?
It's in Berwick.
Is it?
Yep. It's where the Monash campus used to be.
Oh,
yep.
Yes. I know that.
And that also allows you to do that online, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I can do it online, and it's closer to home. There's just a lot more flexibility with it. They have better, scheduled classes and stuff like that. I don't have to get up, at 6 a.m. and get to the city for an 8 a.m. class.
I mean, I'm going to step in there. I'm pretty sure when you were first looking, I was like, why don't you look at that one in Berwick?
That's when it was Monash University, and I didn't get the correct ATAR, but thanks for rubbing that in my face, Mum. But it's fine.
Yeah. Hey, let's not talk about ATARs. So you were at uni, you deferred, and then you started to push your career in travel, didn't you?
Yeah. So once I worked as a barista for full time for a little while, I decided that's not what I wanted to do, and I was tossing up between going back to uni or thinking of doing something new altogether. And then I just so happened to get a job at Flight Centre. I applied for it, not even wanting it, and then I got a job with Flight Centre in their student flights brand, and I just sort of became a thing.
Before you got that though, weren't you did your Qantas
yes
interview, and was that one of the factors of doing Qantas that then pushed you into looking at Flight Centre?
I definitely think so. I think it made it more appealing It's sort of because I knew that Qantas wasn't going to be a reality until like this March, because I had to wait until Melbourne Ground School was open. So that it was sort of like, it was
so you
sort of
got
a
through
filler.
the Qantas interviews and
Yeah,
they accepted you?
Yeah, I got through all of that. They offered me a job in Sydney, but at the time I was like 20 years old and I didn't want to have to relocate to Sydney. That just wasn't an option. And they were like, we can offer you a position in March for Melbourne, but obviously you're going to have to wait 9 months. So then I sort of got the job at Flight Centre and I was like, oh, that's sort of like the same sort of deal. Like I'm working in travel. It'll just get me by for the next 9 months.
Yeah.
So at this point, were you thinking, okay, my career, my life is going to be based around travel now?
Yes.
As in with Qantas and... Okay.
Yeah, I completely changed what I wanted to do. Like I completely just didn't think about business or just didn't think about that at all. I just only wanted to do travel.
Okay. And then obviously COVID happened.
Yep.
You lost your job.
Yep.
As a travel agent. I mean, you were with who were you with? Travel agent?
The brand was called Universal Traveller. So it used to be called Student Flights.
Yeah.
Owned by Flight Centre, but they rebranded to Universal Traveller recently, like August last year.
They just closed that brand up, didn't they?
Yeah, so essentially they merged Universal Traveller with Flight Centre. So they're putting the student flights into Flight Centre and they dissolved the company. Yeah.
It's one way to do it.
Yeah, they just couldn't afford to keep both open. Yeah. Like a lot of people have been very lucky that they got repositioned into a Flight Centre, but because of my age in the company, I was under 12 months. They just didn't see the future for me because they couldn't offer me anything else, which is sad. It's like the sad reality of it. Like everyone's in that position. There's so many other people going through the same thing, if not worse.
Yeah. Tough times.
Yeah.
So that's when you decided to head back to uni.
Yeah, sort of. Like I always had this voice in the back of my head telling me that I needed to do more. I needed to go back to uni because that's how I measured my own success. Was I'm a failure if I don't complete this degree. If I don't, I've started, I need to complete it. And I always had that voice in the back of my head telling me that I was shit because I couldn't complete it. And I just, all of these little things that came along the way, like Qantas and Flight Centre, they were just sort of like they were a step in the right direction, but they also were a step backwards in the fact of me getting my degree. So I was very torn the whole time. So I decided
But you had looked
back.
into doing your course online when you were at Flight Centre though, Universal Traveller, hadn't you?
That was always, like when I started, that was my goal. That was what I said to myself. Like once I was settled, I would then go and study online. And I did. I applied for Deakin online. Didn't get it. And then that was another step back. And I was like, right, I need to think of something else because clearly I can't do this online. Like my university is not offering it online, so I have to go somewhere else. Nowhere else is wanting me. Like it was just, it was like stuck at a crossroads of what I wanted to do, whether I wanted to give up.
Where we are right now is, online courses and things, and I think unis are having to step out of that in classroom teaching. That there's so many things that you can do online now, and they're having to move forward like that. So I guess
I've applied
that's
for
a positive for you in this respect of these unprecedented. Oh, that was
a word.
That one wasn't, I don't think, but I think everyone knew what I meant. In these times where they're having to step forward and be able to assist more people online. So, that's a positive for you that's come out of that you're being able to do your course now online.
Yeah, I mean, I applied for an on-campus position, and it is an on-campus position, but because we're not allowed on campus, like everything's online. So I'm sort of getting a taste of whether I can do it all by myself and whether I want to, so that I have the choice that whether I want to stay on campus and go to classes and work part-time, or whether I want to pick up more shifts and do it all online. Like I'm getting a taste of what that's like.
Yeah.
So you mentioned just a minute ago of how you were at sort of like a crossroads.
Yeah.
And you didn't really know what to do. What were you feeling at that moment when you sort of realized, I have no idea what I'm doing, something needs to change?
I was a little bit lost.
Yeah.
And it was was also frustrated because I didn't necessarily choose this path for myself. Like I didn't want to lose my job. I didn't want to not have the opportunity of Qantas. And it was frustrating because it was all out of my hands, but I had to be the person to make the next decision. That was sort of frustrating.
That's what's being an adult's about.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
No, it's too much responsibility.
No, I didn't like it at all. And it was also scary because, like, again, I had that voice in the back of my head saying that if I didn't make the right decision, I was also going to be a failure again. And it was hard. But I think I have. Now looking back, like I've done my first week of uni, now looking back, and I'm like, yeah, I think I made the right decision. Like, I'm not working heaps because there's not much work for me in hospitality at the moment. But that's, everyone's in that position. So it's just got to move forward.
So you've seen that obviously hospitality and all that isn't working at the moment, so you've gone, all right, what can I do in this moment?
Having to change,
and you change it up.
It's a real struggle at the moment, isn't it, with hospitality? And I can't see it getting better anytime soon.
I even see that in the business that I work at, because they're thinking, they're trying to strategize whether they're, if they're going to get shut down, what are we going to do? And they're lucky in an aspect of that the shop is right next to an IGA, and they're like, oh, we'll just get a coffee cart and we'll make coffees like in the IGA in a coffee cart, and they're having to figure out what they're going to do next.
There you go, changing up their strategy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, everyone's in the same position.
Having to be a bit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, so many smaller businesses like cafes and whatnot are really panicking at the moment. And I think they came out yesterday and said that 1 in 10 businesses will close once the government, like the JobKeeper and stuff like that, stops, which is going to be a huge hit for our economy and all that jazz.
I mean, I went to Fountain Gate the other day and I walked around and there's so many businesses that are just shut and like the stores are empty because they just couldn't survive it. And it's so sad to think, because a lot of them are like the smaller businesses, they don't have a huge chain to fall back on, and it's just sad.
Yeah, it
certainly is very much. So, Mum, what's sort of your relationship with changing up your strategy? Because we've spoken about your many a business venture.
Many business ventures. I mean, crikey, I've swapped and changed and done a whole heap of stuff through my lifetime. And it is important to be able to recognise when you need to change things up. I mean, I went to uni when I was 34 when I started, but for me, I was probably I think I was halfway through when I realised that I was doing something that I didn't enjoy doing, and I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I wasn't doing it for the wrong reasons. I was doing the wrong course for the right reasons. And I just thought, because I was already in education, I thought that my next step was just to go doing a teaching degree. Because obviously at the time we were looking at coming down to Australia, and neither of us had, your dad and I, neither of us had a degree, and we couldn't quite get the points. So we decided that it would be me that would go and get a degree, and then we would try and get here through me. And because I was in teaching at the time, it was like, well, let's just go do a teaching degree. Got halfway through that and realised that it really wasn't what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be a teacher at the end of it. So I had to realise then that I just got to change and do something else from there. But I think for me, changing strategies all the time through my life has just been giving me more options and more opportunities. It opens more doors when you are more open to, okay, I'll go give that a go. Then it allows you to explore more things. And they don't necessarily work, and that's fine. As we spoke about last week, that's a part of it's not a part of failing is in that sense, but it's a part of growing and learning, that you realize, okay, that's not the path I want to take. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing worse than being stuck in a situation where, and I think here and in any education, I think you're expected at such a young age to think about what you want to do with the rest of your life.
It always annoyed me when they were, like in high school, it was like, all right, well, you've got to decide now, a university degree.
Yeah. What do you
want to do with your life?
Yeah. And there are so
what
many
I-
people out there that've got degrees that they don't even use because
Yeah.
they're
I know.
not in that industry,
I know. I mean,
you know, and that
I
seems...
mean, the majority of the people I know who went to uni, they studied stuff like, like psychology or forensic science and stuff like that. And they don't use it. They're in an office job that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's...
Well, when I met a girl that I went to uni with, and we were doing the exact same course, majoring in the exact same units. And I left and I did, I worked and blah, blah, blah. And then she graduated. And then 2 weeks after she graduated, she got a job at Universal Traveller where I was working. So we both ended up in the exact same position. But she was, 6 months behind me because she needed to finish her degree.
And she's got a lot more HECS debt.
Yeah, exactly. And yes, that she's now like unemployed and she's got a degree to back her up, but no one's hiring. Like no one wants a marketing manager.
No.
So like she's in the same position that I am. Because
when it comes out to getting a job again, you will be in the same position as her with your degree.
Yeah.
And she still won't have the experience of working, because if you look at it, it would have been that she may have had a year, 2 years more experience of you in the workplace.
Yeah.
But the way that it's going now, that's not going to be, you'll both be on the same level playing field when you are going out to try and find work.
Yeah. And when she was in high school, she only picked business because it's what she was good at. And I was the same thing. Like, I only picked my business degree because it's what I was good at. And, like, I was 16 in year 12. I was a year younger than everyone. So, like, asking a 16-year-old what they want to do for the next, 4 or 5 years of their life is crazy. I still have no idea what I want to do. I enjoy business and I'm good at it. That's why I'm doing it. But I don't know if it's what I want to do. I'm just figuring it out. And I don't think there should be such a pressure on people that are so young.
I agree.
No, it's a difficult time.
I mean, I've changed up my strategy quite a bit over the years, in a way.
Do tell us, Brad.
Just to sort of... All right, this is a conversation. I'm talking about my experience.
Well, it sounded like you were waiting for someone to say, "Oh, well, how's that then, Bradley?"
I mean, I was. But that's how, I asked Samantha, I asked you, and then this always happens, Mum. You never ever ask me the question back. I always have to sort of figure out my way around it into speaking about me.
I asked you how you were at the beginning.
Yeah, like 5 minutes after.
Anyway, so what was I talking about? How I've changed
your strategy.
So obviously, I went to as soon as I got out of school, I enrolled in a uni course. Do you remember, Mum? We went to the orientation day.
Was it in Footscray?
It was Vic Uni. Footscray. Don't go to Footscray. Jesus
Don't
Christ.
go to Vic Uni.
Yeah, don't go to Vic Uni either. But I was right. I went there to study. I was going there to study performing arts, but we went to see if I could defer because obviously we weren't Australian citizens at the time.
Yeah, I don't think even we had PR, did we? So you wouldn't have got a HECS.
Yeah, I didn't.
And there's no way your dad was going to put his hand in his pocket for that much money for an overseas student.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to be an overseas student because that would just... So obviously I had to look at, all right, that's not going to work at this moment. What can I do to sort of
get you by?
Help me get there at this moment. So I deferred that uni, never went back because I then heard a lot of bad things about Vic Uni. I don't think I ever told them either. I think I'm still deferred at this point.
I'm yet to tell ACU it's fun.
I never told them when.
You know they charge you. Back. They charge you a enrollment fee every semester that you don't re-enter. It's like a deferment fee. Yeah, they I've been charged for last year and a half for deferring from ACU. Yeah.
How many years ago was it, Brad?
So your HECS takes just as much as mine, and you've got nothing out of it.
That's 2013. Jesus. I should look into that.
Yeah, maybe.
But then, obviously, at that point, I thought, I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be in the performing arts, and so I thought, okay, how can I? Well, what can I do? And I started looking for jobs in terms of acting jobs. And I couldn't find any because it didn't have any training. So that's when I looked into, all the big schools like NIDA and WAPA and all that sort of stuff. I didn't get into them because apparently you need to be really good.
Well, you are really good. They obviously just couldn't see it.
And I actually wasn't old enough at the time either. I was 18, but I mean, during my audition phase and stuff like that, they were like, yeah, no, we like you and whatnot, but you're not old enough and you need some more experience. And I was like, well, that's why I'm coming to you. So that's where I then found 16th Street Actors Studio, and I did some term classes there. And then I went, okay, I've had some formal training. I've done a few classes, so I'm, let me go and do some films. But then I realized I needed some further formal training. So I looked into the part-time course and everything I did there, and I did that part-time course, and then I thought, okay, I've finished, so I'm going to be getting booked for roles left, right, and center, and I'll get an agent and whatnot. Didn't happen. So then I then had to look at myself and go, okay, what isn't working? And what wasn't working at the time was I wasn't getting enough sort of...
It was you.
Yeah.
Yes,
well. Jesus.
Oh my God.
What wasn't working at the time was I wasn't getting enough smaller jobs. Not that I was getting bigger jobs. I wasn't getting enough smaller jobs.
So I wasn't wrong.
To build up my show reel and stuff. So a friend of mine was attending university at the time, studying film, and he was learning a lot about the behind the scenes of the camera and how he could then, and I thought, I was like, oh, that could be good, because then I could actually film my own stuff, just to learn the basics about camera and how that all works. So I then went back to uni, a different uni. So then that's where I was at, and then I came out of uni and I went, all right, well,
now what do I do?
What do I do? And that's where I sort of went, all right, well, I need to, obviously make money, because life. And that's where I had to change things up a little bit more. And I went more down the photography, videography, and social media marketing route. And now I'm here unemployed. So at this point, I've got to look at...
Changing my strategies again.
Yeah, now I've got to look at, Jesus Christ, what can I do in this time, in this lockdown, how I can change things up, where I can go, what I can do, so that when we come out of the lockdown, which is probably going to be extended, how can I sort of get out and be on the front foot, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think this
my
time
life is
in lockdown is such a good time to sort of get a head start in what you want to do.
It's a fantastic time to, look at and reevaluate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, talking of you changing your strategies, Brad, and especially in this time as well, I'm very aware of 2 weeks ago, you spoke about a job.
I did.
And you said that, hopefully this time next week I'll have some news. But I didn't mention it last.
Why do you think I haven't mentioned it?
Not because you haven't got it though. It's just a bit more extended, yeah?
Yeah,
so
the
hopefully
job that I was talking about, I had an interview for it. When did I have it? On Wednesday.
Yeah.
Which was a weird interview, because I'm sat in a room with these three. It was like a panel interview, but we're all inside this one conference room, all wearing masks.
That
all
must
of us.
Be weird.
I'm on the other side of the room.
Yeah.
They're on the other side of the room. They're also 1.5 meters apart. And I'm trying to answer these questions, and I'm like yelling, but I'm wearing my glasses and I'm wearing a mask, and my glasses just fog up, and now I can't see anything.
Who do I look at?
So I'm like, this has to be the most awkward.
I wish I was a fly on the wall.
Interview
Bradley,
I've ever been in.
Your eyesight's not that bad. Surely you could have just taken your glasses off for 2 seconds for the interview.
No, my eyesight's not great. I wouldn't have been able to see them.
Yeah,
and
you
then
don't
my
need
eyes would have stuck.
Well, maybe that would have helped.
Yeah, maybe.
And yeah, but it would have looked really weird if I got in the room and then just went, hi, and then took
They're
my
reading
glasses.
glasses. It wouldn't look weird at all. It's fine.
Why would I be wearing reading glasses?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Anyway, we're hoping that you'll have some news next time we chat, yeah?
Possibly next time, possibly the time after that.
Okay. I just didn't want to leave our listeners hanging when you were giving them, might have a job.
I don't think they're all getting all hyped up for me, but whatever. So, just to sort of top things off, cap things off, finish things off. We'll say that. Changing up sort of your strategy is so important.
Sure is.
In times where you're sort of lost, it is important to sort of acknowledge what's not working.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no point in carrying on with something when you know in your heart it's either not what you want to be doing, or it's just it's not working.
And I'm all for persistence and going, keep going with something, and it'll take time to work. But if you do that and you still look at it and go, this is not working.
But that can be really hard to say, this isn't working. Like, I haven't, like, this isn't working for me. Let's change it. Especially when you're in mum's position, and when she decided that uni wasn't working for her, it's not just going to affect her. It was going to affect her, like her family and the getting to Australia.
Absolutely.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, there's bigger decisions sometimes to be made on whether you persevere. And I believe next week we're talking a bit more on perseverance, aren't we?
Yeah.
We are, yes.
Perseverance and strategy changing, they can sometimes go hand in hand. But it is important to be able to sort of evaluate and say, sometimes I'm better off just changing my direction.
Yeah.
And
So
it's not throwing in the towel at all.
No, it's not. It's not giving up.
No.
So if there's any advice we can give to any of our listeners, all fucking three of them. If there's any advice we can give, reevaluate.
Oh, God.
Go again.
Reevaluate yourself more often. Acknowledge when something isn't working, and change it up if need be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Fantastic.
Love it.
Yes.
Wonderful conversation. Let's move on to our small business shout out. Samantha, you're going to be involved in this one this week.
Yes, I'm excited.
Samantha, do you want to go first?
Sure.
Go.
My small business shout out is the company or the business that made my face masks that I ordered.
Face masks.
Yes, because
those things that everyone is in Victoria is all too familiar with.
Yes, because I have to wear them, and I have to wear them to work and shops and everything like everyone does. So I bought some. The company is called O Face Masks. So like a zero. No, not a zero, like an O. Face masks. Yeah.
As in.
Yeah.
Hints in the title.
Face masks.
So as it's pronounced. Yeah.
Yep. She has a Facebook page. I don't know if she has an Instagram, but they're all handmade. And I just think that we need to shout out some face mask companies because they're essential.
Bet they're bloody rushed off their feet these days.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. I would say so.
Fantastic. Face masks.
Face masks.
On Facebook. I'll find out if they're on Instagram. If they're not, that's their problem.
All right.
Mother.
My shout out this week is a little cake shop just down the road from me in Beaconsfield, and it's called the Cake Stop Beaconsfield. Now I know that obviously in these times it is a little bit of a struggle for them. They've had to reevaluate and change up their strategy a bit with when they're open and stuff. So, but yeah, they're managing to stay open, which is fabulous. They don't just do cake supplies and stuff. They do make cakes, and they do cupcakes and macaroons and all sorts. Lovely little shop. The ladies in there are fabulous. Everything is made on site, and they're just so knowledgeable in there, and they're very, very friendly. They did have a little place for you to sit and have a coffee. Obviously, that's not being utilised at the moment, but you can also ring them up. And place an order over the phone, I believe, and then go and a bit like click and collect, I suppose, and then go pick it up. So they're having to change how they're operating, as everyone is at the moment. But they're a fabulous little shop, and I just think we do need to be shopping local, and they are a small business, and they need our support. You know, so
They certainly do.
yeah. So and people are still having celebrations. You know, and I know we can't get together with people, but people still want a cake and that sort of thing. So
Cake
you
is
know,
good.
go along
Cake's
and
the best.
go along and see them because they're fabulous. So it's the Cake Stop in Beaconsfield. They do have a Facebook page. Not sure about Instagram, but they have a website anyway. So we'll put up that this week.
Fan-dabby dozy.
Wonderful.
Okay. And Brad, what about yours? Who's your shout out? See, got in, asked you.
Thank you very much. My small business shout out today or this week goes to a lovely restaurant bar. Yeah, it's a bar, restaurant and bar, restaurant/bar,
And a cafe.
And a cafe.
Yep.
Yes, they are. Called Copper and Fox. They're in Lakeside, which is Lakeside in Officer or Pakenham?
Pakenham. It's like posh Pakenham.
Yeah, it's only
Okay.
just Pakenham though. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd claim it as Officer, but it's not.
It's definitely Pakenham though.
Yeah.
Anyway, but they're in Lakeside. Lovely little restaurant, cafe bar. They've changed up their strategy a little bit since the lockdown happened, and they're doing a lot of stuff like they do free delivery if you're within 5 kilometers.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm within 5 kilometers. I'll have to check.
As the crow flies or as the car drives.
I don't know. So they're doing all that sort of stuff, and they do like daily sort of promotions in terms of they do a Thursday date night package, which is like $60, and it's like 2 main meals, 2 desserts, and a bottle of wine, which is a fantastic
Yum.
price.
Oh, yum.
You know, so yeah, they're changing things up, and I thought we'd support a restaurant.
Yeah, because they're open for coffees as well, aren't they, during
They
the
are,
day?
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got
they
his
are.
own little window that he
Yeah.
no one has to go inside. You just
Mhm.
get your coffee and you go.
So it's and it's incredibly important to support hospitality businesses
Yeah,
these days.
definitely.
Because
I used to love going there in the summer. They got that lovely little balcony and go
They
upstairs
do,
and
yes.
have a cocktail. Very
Yeah.
nice. Can't wait for
Yeah.
us to be able to do that again.
Okay, so that's small business shout out.
Yay!
So how are we going to finish this off? We're going to sort of chill out a little bit to finish this off. Do you want to do a game, or do you want to chat about stuff like
What are we
film,
chatting about?
music, and all that sort of stuff?
Stuff.
Your choice, whatever you want.
Well, why don't we... Mum. Okay, why don't we talk about a film that we have watched recently then, yeah?
Okay,
Whoa.
Samantha.
Whoa. Oh, okay. No, I got it.
Yeah,
I
go.
watched the film Seven. You know, the one with Brad
Oh.
Pitt? Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Oh, Mum, it was
Oh.
actually really good. Like, I
Would
went...
I like it?
Oh, it's a little bit gory.
No,
You probably
no, Mum,
won't.
you would not like it. But oh my god,
I think Bradley approves.
Yeah,
What a
and it
film.
was one of Cooper's picks. We did this thing where we listed like 10 movies and we're like alternating when we watched them. I think you've seen
That's
the
great.
list.
Yes. I
Seven
have.
was on his. It was his night.
what's in the box?
Yeah, I didn't-
What's in the box?
I didn't know that was from that movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I was
don't know what
Great
you're
film,
doing
Mum.
pleasantly
right now.
surprised.
Honestly,
Really
great
enjoyed it.
film.
Oh.
A bit. Ooh, God.
It's a bit gory.
Great film.
There's some
Brad
hair
Pitt.
going times.
Top notch.
Yeah, but I like Brad Pitt, so...
And it's
maybe
young
I'll-
Brad Pitt as well, Mum.
It is,
Mm.
yeah.
Maybe I'll give that a
And
go.
it's got Morgan Freeman in. You like him?
Oh, I do like him, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
like
it's
him
got-
a lot.
It's got Kevin Spacey. Don't know if we can.
Oh,
Well,
I'm not a fan of his.
but like,
Never have been, though. Even after it, yeah.
yeah. Anyway, Mum, film that you've watched recently.
Do you know what? Well, because this week I've not been great.
all you've done
I've-
is watch films and
I've
TV.
watched so much TV. But I actually can't even remember half of what I've watched. I remember Cooper came home the other day and said to me, "So what movies have you watched today?" And I went, I don't know. And I couldn't tell him one. Couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, one of the ones I did happen to watch was Divergent. And I was a bit... I know that I've seen it before, but it was obviously a very, very long time ago.
Divergent's the first one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it is. And I was
Yeah.
a bit sort of at the end of that and was like, I mean, I couldn't even tell you who's in it, to be honest.
I know
recognised
Ansel
it.
Elgort.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jai, what's his name? Jai.
fantastic Australian actor, Jai Courtney.
Yes.
I don't know who he is.
Yeah. I
Fantastic.
get him
Do
mixed
you know-
up. Who do I get him mixed up with, Brad?
I don't know.
Well, he looks like someone. Who
I
would
don't know. But do you know how he got his main breakthrough?
How?
No.
He was a supporting role on the TV show Spartacus,
Was he?
which was filmed in Australia.
Oh, there you go. Oh,
Yeah.
he's
Why don't
also
you do that, Brad?
Samantha. He's also
All right.
he plays bloody what's his name son in what's its
Oh yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds
Oh
fun.
yeah,
Die
he plays
Hard.
Die
Die
Hard. Yeah,
Hard.
he plays John McClane's son in Die Hard,
yeah, the last one.
Oh, I haven't
The
watched
last
Die
one,
Hard.
yeah.
It's on the list.
the one that flopped.
I haven't watched the Die Hard yet. Die Hard's on my list. I'll get
Fucking
there.
flop.
Okay. Anyway, so I watched Divergent and I was a little bit, okay. And then I decided to watch the next one, which is Insurgent. And that was a little bit,
Yeah, it's not a very good. I mean, I think a lot of people were like,
didn't it get bad
"Oh my God, it's
reviews?
going to be the next Hunger Games."
Yeah, and it wasn't.
yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah, it was a bit, yeah. And so the next one is Assailant, I think, is the next one.
No, Allegiant,
Oh, is it Allegiant?
I believe.
Is there 4
I'm
of
gonna
them?
watch-
I believe there's 4.
Is it 4?
I believe.
Oh, Christ.
could be
I
3.
thought there was
Got
only
nothing
3.
but time, Mum. It's fine.
So, Kate Winslet. She's the other one that's in it.
She is in it, yeah.
Yes, I am gonna watch that one, and hopefully at the end of that one, I'm not just gonna be
You will be.
Yeah, I think you will.
well. But I feel
Yeah.
like I need to watch them all now to finish the story.
Right.
So yeah,
What's your movie, Brad?
that's me.
I've been watching TV shows recently, but the last movie I watched was I have forgotten the name.
Just say your TV show then. What TV shows have you been watching?
Oh no, you're going to judge me for my TV
I
show.
won't. It's
No,
fine.
she won't because she's been watching it.
Have I? Is it Jane
Yeah.
the Virgin?
No.
Oh. That's what I'm binging at the moment.
I mean, the TV show I've been watching is Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Oh,
Yeah, I haven't been watching that
Sam's
one.
not watching that one.
Yeah, but the film is the new Tom Hanks one.
New Tom Hanks. Would
And
you
I
like
thought
me to
he's
search
the-
it up on my computer?
He's the Navy captain.
Oh, Captain Phillips.
No.
Oh,
Wait, I'm going to look it up.
This is really annoying me. It's like when something's on the tip of your tongue.
do you have to pay for it to watch it?
No, you have to have Apple TV though.
Oh,
Oh, I
essentially,
got
yes,
it.
you
Do you want to
do.
know what it is, Brad? Or would you like to
do.
guess it? Greyhound.
Greyhound.
There you go.
I never heard
Great
of it.
film. Tom Hanks, brilliant. Although it's a fantastically well done film for the budget that it was on. It didn't have a very big budget, but it looks top. I love World War II movies. Love them.
Good.
Good, I'm glad.
I didn't realise that's what it was about.
Oh, I also watched American Sniper the other day. That was also very good.
Good
Great.
movie.
Yeah.
Bradley.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I
Very
could
good.
watch that movie over and over again. I
Coopsy boy.
really like that one.
Coopsy boy. Okay, cool. Well, that's episode 13.
We're done.
Love it.
Mum, you were recording that whole time, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Fantastic.
It's moving along my screen.
Fantastic. All right, well, thank you everybody for listening to episode 13 of the Art of Trying podcast. Thank you, Samantha, for joining us.
Thank you, Sam.
Thanks for
It was
having me.
fantastic. And we shall see you next week for episode 14, where we have yet another special guest.
Yes,
We'll announce them at some point.
we will.
We shall see you then. Stay safe, especially in Victoria. If you're in Victoria, wear your mask. It's not that hard.
Yep, keep it on.
Stay safe. Keep an eye on each other. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.